Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic, Volume 8, Episode 5. We will be solving a Regional Yajilin today, which is a variant of a type that we've had previously, and it is different enough that I was actually on the fence of whether to denote this as a variant with the parentheses that I put in, or to just call it something else, but I think you'll see the similarities and differences quite clearly as we take a look at the rules. In a regional Yajilin, we shade some cells so that no two shaded cells are orthogonally adjacent, and draw a non-intersecting loop through the centers of all remaining cells. We can see this in the example. This part of the constraint is exactly the same as that which is found in a regular Yajilin. So we have some shaded cells that don't touch each other orthogonally, which means horizontally or vertically. Don't share edges is another way of thinking about that. This shows that diagonals are fine. And everything that's left over has to be possible to draw a line that loops through those remaining cells. Numbered regions must contain the indicated amount of shaded cells. Unnumbered regions can have any number, including 0. And here's the difference between this and a regular Yajilin, which uses an arrow type of clue. Here we have regions. This 0 tells us there are no shaded cells in this region at all. This 2 tells us there are 2 shaded cells in this region, for example. Those are the rules of Regional Yajilin, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's Regional Yajilin puzzle was set by Jovial. Let's look at our smallest numbers. Small and large numbers are always the key. So we've got some zeros we can mark in as having no shaded cells. And in fact, one of them is in the corner, which gives us some of our loop right off the bat, because it's going to have to enter and exit this cell. So corners like this become givens for us. Up in this corner, this 1 is interesting to me, because one thing I know about Yajilin is you have to be careful about placing shaded cells on edges, because if we were to put a shaded cell here, we would end up with a dead end here, since we can't have 2 shaded cells that are adjacent. So a shaded cell here leads to a dead end, which makes the loop impossible. So these 2 can't be shaded. In fact, we can start off any Yajilin puzzle by marking those specific cells as unshaded. That's always going to be the case. But for this region, since we know there is exactly 1 shaded cell, we know where it is. It goes there. And that gives us some information about how the loop enters and exits both of those cells. This region has 2 shaded cells, and they can't be adjacent, so they are going to be in this checkerboard pattern. I see we've got another checkerboard over here, but this one, since we know one of the unshaded cells in it is completely defined, and we know that the adjacent cells are not shaded, and that the loop goes straight through those tunnels that have been created. It also is going to take a turn in this corner. And what can we do next? Is there something we can say about this? 2 is interesting, since we've got a couple pieces of information in there. This 1 region is down to 2 cells, but I think I can believe that either of those is shaded. So let's go through to another fact about Yajilin. If we have, again, along an edge, we can't put the shaded cells too close to the corner. We also can't put them too close to each other, because if any 2 shaded cells were 1 cell apart from each other, then we create a dead end in between. And in particular, in this region, we need 2 more shaded cells, so they've got to have little space in between them for the loop to enter and exit. So they've got to be in those two so that we can come in and out of this region and take care of all these cells. That gives us more information about how the loop turns. This is a corner, so this is going to come down here, and we can't close off our loop, so this comes down here. We still need a shaded cell in this region, and now we know where it is, giving us a tunnel and a corner to turn in. And two more unshaded cells, so this one is a corner. This region still needs a shade, and that gives us another tunnel, another corner, and another unshaded cell. We have two in this column. This can't be one of them because that would give us a dead end right here. And these can't be both of them because that would give us a dead end. So there's at least one that is not in this stretch, and it can only be here, which gives us a corner. We need... Okay, this one that I mentioned before, we know it is a checkerboard. One of these two. This one is a problem because it causes a corner here that we could draw in, but then we would close this loop. So it's going to have to be this orientation, which gives us two corners and some more unshaded cells and some tunnels. Our 2 region has only one cell left to complete the 2, which gives us a turn. We got a 2 here, which is probably constrained. We know this one is not shaded because of a potential dead end. We've got kind of the same thing was happening up here. If this is not shaded, then these 2 would have to be to fit them in, and then we've got a dead end. So that is shaded, giving us a corner. And again, we don't know which of these 2 ends up getting shaded. I feel like we're close, but I'm running a little bit out of options. Okay, here's one. These 2 both need one shaded cell, and we have marked 2 unshadeds in that 3-cell region, so these both get shaded, giving us some adjacencies we can mark, telling us that this has to turn the opposite direction to not close down. Same thing here, has to turn this way. And this one, either way, how else does that constrain us? Presumably in an important way. What's it gonna be? Here we can't turn that way, obviously. Oh, okay. We can use a parity argument. By which I mean, in any area of the entire grid in a loop puzzle, we need to have an even number of entrances and exits, because otherwise we would have a dead end. Hopefully that is clear just from that description. So in this 2x2, we have 1, 2, 3 places where the loop is entering that 2x2, and 3 is odd, so we need at least 1 more, and there is only 1 more possibility, which is straight through there. So that is forced. Does that give us more than that? Or was that just a lot of work for something very small? Probably the latter. Let's see, because I still don't know if this closes, that seems okay, or if they both continue. There's going to be something. It's probably this region. Okay, yeah, it is. 2 out of these 4 cells need to be shaded. Let's say this is not one of them. Then in order to keep them separated, we need to do it that way, which gives us a dead end. So this is one of the shaded cells, which gives us 2 corners and gives us the location of the other shaded cell. And some adjacencies. That also resolves this region so that we know where the 2 of those go and gives us some turns. This region is resolved, only 1 cell left there. And we can't turn into the loop there, so this turns left. This region needs 1 more to be replete. And I think we have dealt with all of the number tools in the grid. So it should just be loops from now on. Where I'm going to mark in the corners that we've gotten. This has to keep going through this tunnel, and that is all connected up. We got another corner out of that, and another corner here, and another corner here. This has become a dead end, so it's got to be shaded. And that, oh, we did have one more. I missed it. We did have one more region that we hadn't finished. So this becomes a corner, and then we've got to turn south. And we've got a corner here, which is going to tell us how these 2 work together. So this comes south. We can't go straight through here because that would close the loop. So it does go over this way. And something's going to tell us which direction. I know from uniqueness that... Well, I think I can deduce which way that goes from uniqueness, but I don't think it's worth talking about at the moment. This loop can't close itself, so this will come down this way. That's going to be the majority color, and I think that's an ugly color, so I'm going to change the colors. All right, so now this brown one is going to not close itself. It's going to come down this way. That gives us a corner. That gives us another corner, and this comes down this way. And finally, this little segment we now know belongs to the line ends below it. And that is how we solve a regional Yajilin.